Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Destry Wade at the Homeless Surfer. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the 11th of February, 2026. Start doing that, catch up. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. In the comments section is to buy me a cup of coffee, as well as in the channel description. So either way, you'll be able to find Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. Help me out. I really need it. I need you guys to like me, please, and subscribe. The subscribers are the important part. I have to have those 50 subscribers so I can go on and do the live. I'm going to start doing like the tape version of it if we don't get done by March, but I assume we can. So let's get this thing going and help me out here, guys. Please, 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 please. Anyway, so again, like, subscribe, and make comments. I really appreciate the feedback. And the books, by the way, on the if you go to the buy me a cup of coffee onto my page, which is the Homeless Surfer, you'll see the books. I've downloaded 5 of them. I'll have 6 of them by the time I'm done with today, and I'm doing an upgrade on them as well. Boom. This is going to be. Let's see if we get this in here. That's really hard. Nope. Can't see it. No dirt. Anyway, let's see. Can't see it anyway. Let's see. There it is. Wait, maybe back here. Up here. There we go. See that? Okay, those are the new characters. Jay and Gray. I got a better system. Like I said, I fixed up and went and threw some of that, some of my extra money and did some panhandling and was able to get a better bot, a better AI bot that's more designed for artwork. And so these came out way so cool, and they're going to make good cartoons. So I like it, and I like the way it looks. So we're going to be that's great. I'm going to go and redo all my books, but it's not as hard as it sounds because all I have to do is have it copy that. And this one is more exacting. It seems to understand the need for that consistency. So we'll see. I'm going to do some adjustments and make that happen because I really like those caricatures. I think they look cool. It's more like the hand drawn caricatures from back in the day when you go to like Disneyland or county fair or something and they draw one for you. Always got those. I love those things. Had bunches of them. Anyway, so as we're getting going, I'm getting excited. Like I said, I finally did get to buy me a cup of coffee, and I downloaded my stores, so we're starting to get the store. Check me out. Go take a look at different ways that you can help an old homeless surfer keep on moving, man. Stay monetized. It seems to be really important, far more than I thought. And sorry about not being outside today. It's raining like cats and dogs right now. So rather than get everything wet, decided I'd come in here. I like the light in here better. I happen to notice, and I think it's this camera's much poorer than the one on my phone because, God, I look like shit. I'm not vain at all. I understand. I got old and ugly. That shit happens. It's just part of the life. And I can handle that part. My personal assistant years ago said, no matter what you look like, no matter how old you get, just rock it. And she's right. Just freaking rock it, man. Don't look like a poser. I don't want to dress like I'm John Travolta in the 70s pretending to be 16, 15 years old again. No thanks. I know those guys. I had a boss like that once, man. The dude was, seriously, this is like the mid 80s. This dude dressed like it was 1967, had the leather vest on with like flowery shirts, long sleeves, silky shirts. I mean, so 70s, dude. Everything. Just he didn't get past that style phase. And I swore to myself when I saw that back then, I will not allow that to happen to me. I will not stay wearing old looking clothes. And I guess for me, it's somewhat lucky because surf style really never changed. Basically, it's a pair of shorts and a t-shirt. So here you go. This is freaking been here forever since I was a kid. We used to have to go to Mexico and buy these, man. These Senor Lopez's. Yeah, you go down there and buy these things for like $5. It was awesome. Moms loved them. You could lose them and not get in trouble. Same with your Vans, man. We had Vans all our lives, and Vans were $5 too. $5 a pair. My mom loved it because I used to drag my feet when I skated and biked. And man, she gets so mad at me about that. Come home and my Vans are trashed after the first day, after like the first hour. But yeah, so for got to maintain the consistency of our wardrobe. I do have shirts, and I used to joke with my kids about this. Like, I have shirts that are older than you are. That's no bullshit, and that's pretty sad. Thank God I don't wear underwear, so I can't say that. I wouldn't say it if I could. I have underwear older than you, and I don't wear socks. So, boom, don't have to worry about those two smelly things that I have for 20 years. I don't have them. So that's that. Throw that one away. Um, but uh, but yeah, so I'm digging this whole new thing now. Everything's starting to come together in a dome. I'm really stoked right now because it's funny because you don't think you're doing anything. I guess I don't know. It's the way I am. I go into like a what's it called? Where you're hypnotized. I go into a hypnosis, and within that hypnosis, I just start working, and I know what to do. I don't have to think about it. It's just that's the cool thing about being in this period of my life. I don't have to think about what to do. I already know what to do. And if I do have to stop and think, I pretty much know what to do anyway. I'm just going to reassess and make sure that I'm not running foolishly in the wrong direction. So, yeah, it's coming together. I did hook up with Amazon, like I said. Now I'm redoing the books. I'm going to make some adjustments and change them to these new caricatures. Like I said, I like them better. But they're ready to go. And the animation, I've already got the animation stuff ready to go. I got the open art, so I can do that. And then I'm going to start doing story time as well, where I'm going to sit and read one of these books when I get a printed version in front of a YouTube channel. And then I'm going to use the AI to change my ugly face into more of it's going to be like a Muppet. So I'll look like a Muppet reading a story to the Jay and Gray. And then I started out yesterday writing the Jay and Gray journey through the Bible. I think it'll be cool as heck. A couple modern kids going through with ancient kids what was going on there and talking as kids would talk instead of not the adult. It's not the adult perspective at all. It's the kids' perspective. As my grandsons are able to time travel through this really bitchin' tube in Pacific Beach where only us locals know how to do it. So anyway, that's the beginning of our new series. Or not going to be a series. It's going to be one big. I'm looking at maybe thinking 200 pages, where it's just one nice big. When I was a kid, we had little. They call them kids Bibles. They were hardcover, and they were just still like the Bible stories, but they were more soft drawn and they were more pictorial than the actually written. So it was kind of a summary of the actual Exodus, but it was more written towards a child's mind. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to put together is that kind of thing. Maybe just the Old Testament and the New Testament version or whatever. Kind of see how it develops. But like I said, the whole point of developing the media company is to create that dome for which we now can just start producing and creating a whole boatload of other content, because this really is the future of what's coming. Network TV just don't really have anything. They don't have anything. The cool shows aren't on there. Netflix got them. Paramount's got them. The other dudes are gone, and their news is all the newses are screwed up. They're just not worth watching. So people are just turning to other options. And like we talked about before, this option is great because you can kind of pick and choose what you feel like. Hey, I feel like listening to some punk rock music tonight. I can do it. Oh, I feel like watching a history special on ancient Rome. I can do that. In fact, let's focus on just the Caesars. You can do that. So it's so cool. So we're developing. My point being is developing this is to fit into that and having different specialties within the dome of Be Best Me Family Media. And so that's what I'm creating. And it's coming together really well. Crazy thing. We initially talked about the homeless surfer. Being that I've been homeless for 10 years in my life, I definitely can still speak on that. But the good news is I'm looking like this isn't going to happen anytime soon. As far as me getting kicked out of here, pray. I'm knock on wood. That's one of those things. I shouldn't have said that. Now that my dog just thought that somebody knocked at the door. Anyway, so yeah, that's the good news. Doesn't look as of now that I'm going to get kicked out, and even if they try, it's a 6 to 9 month process. Legitimately now, because California just changed its eviction laws as of February 1st. Whew. Like I always say, I got sent to prison by 3 days because of a stupid law change. I'm saving my house by 3 days based on a stupid law change. So, hey, yin and yang, right? Yin and yang. You got to get both. And here it is. Here's my return. Exact same thing in reverse to benefit me. Bitching. Remember, I did 8 years where if I would have got busted on the 31st instead of the first or the third, wouldn't have done prison time. So big turn of events, right? This is too. This is a big turn of events. So I'm gonna be staying home. We'll film here in and out, and we're gonna be doing the morning shows as part of the dome. The reason, if you've noticed, and I'll point this out, is this isn't listed for kids. And the reason being is I don't think the subject matter, for one thing, would be of any interest to a kid. Number one, and number two, I don't think kids need to think about certain things yet. Like being homeless. They don't need to. I wouldn't want to be that guy that creates a situation like Snoop Dogg had, where his grandson's asking him uncomfortable questions. No, I don't want to have to explain to a 5-year-old what homeless means. Let's not go there. So this is the adult, the only really meant for adult things. I mean, there's nothing said here that kids can't hear, or that will probably damage them in any way. But at the same time, like I said, I think this is kind of the adult time. The kids will enjoy uh, coffee at Konos because there's going to be just a cast of characters there that I'm pulling together. And that's a whole other thing that in creating and creating these show these channels is is you really have to get into the production of it, the creation. I'm really understanding why there's so many people in Hollywood that have to do something. That a talk show like Drew Barrymore or whatever. There's so much going on. I mean, they can't. The way they do it, it can't be done like this. We can. We're blessed. Unfortunately, the people that used to do all those jobs, the editors, the producer, the host himself, I do all those jobs, and they're easy. This is done in a very short amount of time, which is what allows me to spend. You spend 2 or 3 hours, and basically when I'm doing the AI on setting up Be Best Me Media, I'm strictly instructing AI what I need it to do in each of the phases that I'm working on. And it goes and does it. It created that for me because I was bitching to it as I went to it as my illustrator and said, "You're my illustrator. I can't have this constant change. I need something more dynamic um, as my characterizations go, because the ones that I had, the Muppety, they're called Pixar looking, like I guess it's toy Buzz Lightyear and stuff, but no, it's too generalized, and I know why, and that helped me too, man. You start figuring this shit out because basically this doesn't have pictures in its mind; it has words. So if I show it a picture, this thing absorbs the picture and then in words and actually in code observes what it's looking at. So it'll see in this lines is going back and forth, blonde hair, blue eye, but it's already got an existing blonde hair character over there with blue eyes. So it just grabs that one, and if it looks similar because it's fresh to you when you first see it, you're like, oh yeah, that's great, man. The first versions I thought were so great, but they're not. It's too copied. This one, this new bot, this new AI is strictly artistic. So it's able to take. Actually, I put in a picture into the AI of my grandchildren. That's actually a picture that I have right here on the wall, and it took that and turned them into that. Then I told it, I want you to make this consistent so we can go ahead and do the stories that we're going to do. And I have to, now what I'm going to do is when I finish this today, I go in and I hook up AI to start redoing the stories that it already did, but with the illustrations and characterizations of these characters. And and it wrote the code for me because I know how to ask it to do that now. And you learn this stuff. And it gets easier and easier. So the thing is about being a creator in this day and age with like YouTube channels, you can have 6 YouTube channels going in a day, and you'll spend, if you really want to go crazy, spend 10 hours a day working. Um, but you can, and you can generate amazing amounts of wealth through those YouTube channels. and depending on the niches and things you go after, because that's really huge too. Is I think I'm going to be lucky because a lot of the niching I'll be doing will be investment counselors, starting over, SBA loans, things that are going to help people our age that are saying, hey, you know what? We got 30, 40 years worth of life these days. 100's not getting to be that tricky. And not only that, the people that are getting to 100 now are still people that lived in the old ways. We're the first generation of people, and I'm what, 61 now, that came up when physical fitness was just part of your daily life. Going to aerobics class at 3 in the afternoon, everybody did that, or 7 at night, whatever. You always got a good instructor and the best looking women, and that's the one you went to. And you lifted weights around it, and we stayed in shape. Started tanning. That was new back then. Nobody did tanning. Now it's come and gone, basically, from what I can see. So yeah, we did that, so we're going to benefit from that. So with all this left, we're a huge interest group, and we most of my friends did well. They're not hurting. Their 401ks are fat, and they own their homes now, and it just nonstop. They're doing well, so they don't have to financially trip. And so we're good. People that want to sell us shit are willing to pay to talk to us. So let's use that to our advantage. That's part of what I want to do with this channel is create kind of a community of people that are all that we work together, because every time you spend money, someone else makes money. So let's put it into the group. To me, that's kind of like capitalism, socialism. We just commit to buy from each other. It's been going on forever. A lot of different cultures and people have done that for years, and it makes your community wealthy if that's what if that's what we can commit and work to do. And I think that's what we need to do, because with this AI thing, I always say this thing's so crazy. If I can get 1,000 people to get up in the morning, flip on my channel for that day, go take a crap, make some breakfast, make some phone calls, return some emails, and come back and shut it off, dude, I'm gonna make shit. I'll be making 6, 7 figures a year just from that. You don't even have to like me, but you can help me. And then, oh, you know what? This dude, he sells toilet paper. Click on his shop. Look, he's got the best price of a quantity of toilet paper and still in stock. Because that's what I'm going to do. The monetization of this thing to me is natural because, like I said, it's community. And hey, if I can find a place to get you a nice roll of toilet paper for a third of the price, 10% of the price you're paying, because corporate America is just raping us all, direct from the factory. We don't need middlemen no more. We don't need stores. Factories ship out anyway. Just have them ship it to your house instead of to a store to sit there and you got to pay all those people and all that. All that. We don't need that. We need to get rid of the middle. My political motto this year is get rid of the middlemen. Insurance companies. I should be able to just put that shit into a fund and it would build. By the time I'd ever need it, I could rebuild my house 3 times. There's no problem. And maybe not. Maybe I'm one of the unlucky ones, or I'm one of the lucky ones because I only had it for 3 months and boom, I get my house burned down, but it gets covered. These kind of things. Get rid of the middleman. We don't need them. They take percentages. Everything is a percentage. That's where our affordability is gone to fees. Damn, man, everything's a fee. It's ridiculous. Like I said, forget it. I am so glad I'm not having to start my financial outlook in this day and age. I don't think it looks pretty, as far as where we're at right now. But anyway, I digress. So creating this media company though can continue to build on it that we're doing, like I've been doing, and using the AI to do it. That's kind of what I want to direct folks to start looking at, especially in our age group, because it ain't over, bro. You're only worst case you might be in the fourth quarter, but you're probably more like coming out of halftime, hitting about first couple first couple series of the third quarter, starting to shake it off. You're feeling like you're ready to go for the rest of the game and finish this shit strong. Finish it as a winner. Do what you wanted to do. Didn't you always want it? I always had these grand plans, dude, of getting super, super overly the top wealthy, like the billionaires, which I could have because when they started, I started. That's sick, huh? Jeff Bezos, that little fucker. He had nothing. He had less than me. at one point when we were about the same age. Musk was just, PayPal didn't even exist. The computer didn't even exist when I started. And now it runs the world. So anyway, um, it's doable. But I always had a dream, and I think everybody does, of doing something, leaving something behind bitching. Oh, see, I always twist around to what I need to say. Another, and the final, and one of the other products that I have a concept of now, and that I've kind of started to work out with AI, is basically leaving yourself an agent behind. Okay. Imagine this. You could get up, flip on your computer, and there's your grandfather, who you never even met, but he's your grandfather. He's there physically at whatever age he wants to be. You can transfer him around at different ages. He can too. You have the capability. So you have, like, I could sit here as a 20-year-old and boom, I could be here as a 60-year-old. It's amazing. I love that stuff. The other thing you could do is you put in what they call personality boundaries of your agent, which is you. It's a picture. Like, I could be an agent right now, you wouldn't really even know it. But over time, you train that agent and you talk to that agent as you, and that agent begins to develop the personality traits of you. It's that intelligent now. It can do that. It's amazing. And down the road, and now, and then you leave it, and then somebody else, your grandkids, can pull up that butt. Say, here we go. The great grandchild. You did this 20 years ago. We're just thinking ahead. This is what we do now, so that when our grandchildren, or not me, but when my children's grandchildren come up, they'll be able to do this kind of stuff and look me up. And they'll be, oh, what's Grandpa look like? So here I am, and I can talk and I can interact because I'm trained to. And you control this because you're the one controlling the input into your agent, your bot. And that creates basically your own little AI that's you. It's, I don't, I'm not aware if that's going to create any kind of a consciousness within the screen, but it's going to allow your consciousness to be here, or at least what during this period of time held here forever. That's insane. I mean, if you, yeah, I can go deep on this one, dude. Time travel's real. Guarantee it. Let's put it like that. Time travel is now real, and verifiably so. You know, this is the crazy thing of the time we live in. The time we live in is the fact that we have come full circle, dudes. You're around. And I could sit and explain it to you, but you'd think I'd crazy, and we wouldn't be able to develop the relationship the way we need to, and the community the way I want to, before we start talking about that and that deeper shit. But there is deeper shit. I mean, anybody that doesn't see that, if you got any experience in this life, you got to know there's a lot more to the whole picture here than what you see and what you know. There's pieces everywhere that you got to go get. I've taken a lot of time and a lot of painstaking experiences to gather those pieces and start to understand, or at least think you understand for a minute. The more you think you understand, the more you realize you don't understand shit. You know, that's experience, wisdom. The older I get, the less I know. And it's not because I'm forgetting, it's because there is so much. You start realizing how much there is to know. And what do you really know? Like I said, I don't even know how radio works. To me, it's magic that words fly through the air, come in, and all over the world at the same time. It's coming to me in California from New York, but it's also going to Paris and London and over into the Middle East, all at the very simultaneous time. So those words coming out of that tower are multiplying themselves somehow and splitting up into different directions with the same words. Then they get to the other end, they come down, and boom, there they are. Wow. All simultaneously happening all over the world. So the words are floating in the air right now. Then we sell cell signals on top of that and all this, and internet, Wi-Fi. Dude, we're being bombarded right now with molecules. You can't even understand that. You get most people don't sit around like I do and think this stupid shit that I do, because really I do. I've been chasing, contemplating, and praying since I was a child, because I want to know the truth, man. You know, when you're raised as a Mormon kid, you either accept it or you reject it. And if you reject it, typically when people just bag out on the Mormon church, they bag the Mormon church. They start talking shit. I'd never do that. The Mormons are good humans, awesome humans, and it's so much deeper than can be explained to just somebody in some sort of weird format. It's a whole, eternal celestial thing that most of us are not ready to even contemplate or understand. For me, I couldn't do it. I couldn't follow the rules. Way too hard. When I was a teenager, I was horny. They made you feel bad for being horny. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it, man. I like to drink at the parties. I was one of the boys. I wasn't going to sit out and say, no, according to my religion, I don't do that. No, my brother was good at that shit, but not me. I was like, give me a beer. So, yeah, um, it made me, but being raised that way and being told and made to feel like when you leave this, you're walking away from something, made me want to seek what, because they say we were the only true church. That really went off on me because I'm from San Diego. Mormons are there's a lot of Mormons, but there's a lot of Catholics, a lot of the reborn again Christians were going psycho at that point in time. Methodists, Presbyterians, the people standing Jehovah's Witnesses stand on the corner and give you pamphlets and shit at the bus stop. Awesome, cool, but that means to me that there can't be only one perspective. That God made this little speck over here and said you got to find that or you're fucked. That wouldn't be fair. And I always thought about higher beings. Higher beings think higher than us, better than us. They're more advanced than us. They made us. They made you. And yeah, so the higher powers. I lost it. Anyway, I'm really stoked about getting this thing going. I'm glad. I just wanted to mention before we break up today is that remember to control your calm. You don't control what happens to you, mostly. You really don't. Walking down the street, you don't know what's going to fall out of the tree or out of the sky or trip you up from the ground. You have no idea. But whatever happens, remember that the important thing is it's how you respond to it. Don't respond in a way that harms you. Don't let yourself get angry or frustrated or afraid or anything that harms you because you don't need to. It'll pass. And hopefully you'll be able to let it go and grow and become better and stronger as a person. You know, what makes you a good person is just the fact that you are. Your heart makes you a good person. The love that you give to others, the assistance that you, the concern that you show. We're all caught up in our busyness in our world, and there's so many things around us that create divisions and fears and animosities towards each other without even ever knowing each other. Don't let your eyes get in the way. Don't let your ears get in the way of your heart. You got to know your heart, and you got to know your heart first. And until you're willing to say a prayer and just ask, what the heck, dude? What should I do? And it's not mystical. Don't go into this thing in a mystic mindset. It's not. It's actually very technological, and as it's explained, it'll blow your mind. It really is, and it's so real because you can understand it now. And for the first time in our history, we can actually start understanding more of the celestial beings than we ever could before because our technology is catching up. And I know that sounds crazy, but like I said, over time, we're going to start going into that more and more because I really want to make this a structured situation. I've been thinking about, like I said the other day, something I don't really want to do. I don't want to preach to you, but I got to share with you what I know. And maybe I'm crazy. Cool. That's cool with me. Like I said about being a model, I'd rather be at a real model agency that tells you you're too ugly for the job than be at an ass kiss agency that's just trying to make money on you and tells you you're beautiful and knows damn well you ain't going to get no jobs. So I'd rather share how I feel and what's going on within this world, within this mind, within this heart, and based on the experiences that I've had in my life from being raised with the best of it, in the castle, in the kingdom and being a leader and a head of those kingdoms. I wasn't just some schmuck walking through the school. I was definitely BMOC and always have been from college, both colleges, law school, prison, you name it, wherever I ended up taking charge of the situation quietly without demanding it because that's just who the hell I am. So I want to share these things that I've learned based on those experiences with based on those experiences in coupling over with what I've been what I was shown and explained to while I was in the coma. And I told you before in other issues that we would talk about that coma. That coma was a life changer. The positive dude sitting here with all this hope and heavy and hey, don't quit on this shit yet. It's not done. Um, that wasn't who I was before the coma. I was a drunk homeless surfer. You know, surf in the morning before you have a drink. Maybe not. Maybe take a couple drinks before you surf. Get in the water a couple hours. Get out. Shower off. Drink again. Wait till the feed at the local church so you can go get some food. Then you're drunk enough and full so you go lay down and sleep for fucking 8 hours. Then back to the same thing. So yeah, um, before the coma, totally different destiny. After the coma, during the coma, what happened led to this destiny. So anyway, we'll talk about it. I guess that's my hook. Come back because we'll keep doing this. And I'm starting to write this shit down because I think it's important that as we go through these things that I think are you might find useful to know, enlightening to know, uh, hopeful, because a lot of what you haven't been told the truth. It's been it's been manipulated and utilized to control humans by other humans. What your gods want, what your creators want, is not what the humans want, if that makes sense. Yeah. I wrote here, nothing's wrong with your opinions. Opinions in my mind, and this is just my adapt of it is your experiences combined with your natural feelings. My opinion is this person is bad, or my opinion is that belief is wrong, or my opinion is that type of person is this. The opinions don't matter. My opinion of this, my opinion of that. Opinions don't matter. They're yours. You need to keep them to yourself, really. Um, because what do? Expressing opinions is just expressing negativity, throwing out an opinion. Unless you're asked for your opinion. Hey, what's your opinion? But those are usually positive opinions. Hey, you're an educated doctor, and I'm a doctor, and I asked you, what's your opinion of this? This is what I'm reading. What do you see? So you're asking for a difference, and that's a positive interaction of opinion. Most opinions, other than those, are negative opinions. In my opinion, they should just be burnt to hell at the crisp. And again, there's religion. That's a human condition. Um, you'll never feel happy when you see the end and what happens. And know this: when you get to your higher being, you will never say something as foolish as that. I wish you go to hell. Yeah, you won't do that anymore. It'll hit you so hard when you see what that really looks like, when you know what it is. And remember, everything we believe is all illusions or taught to us. What's real is what we decide to let it be real. You know, um, I used to think until I actually knew people that had mental illness that mental illness was bullshit. It's not real. It's just made up. They're just whiny little fucks. Complain about me, complain about this, complain about that. It's not real shit. Well, guess what? I since have learned that it is real shit. There is people with issues, actually physical, mental issues in the brain, as I'm starting to have. I'm developing them, some of them, and that might be why I have what I have in my head to say, because maybe it is just a diary of a madman. But anyway, stay tuned because I'm gonna bring it to you. And like I said, I'll try to make sure that I don't repeat myself too much. I do have brain farts, as you all know if you watch my channel. But again, please like, subscribe. It helps, and I want to grow this media company up and make it cool. And the YouTube channel, I love this thing. To me, it's just my social life. This is what I used to do in a bar, sit and chat. I got some better conversation coming back at me. That was cool. But honestly, who I've always been and who I probably still am is I usually held 90% of the conversations anyway. It was just affirmations that I got from the person I was speaking at. And ironically speaking, too, the people that I hung out with, that's the way they kind of liked it. Let them take charge. We'll just chill. So, anyway, hang loose. Stay dry today. If you're in San Diego, stay warm. If you're anywhere else,